any good coach will always start you by saying, protect yourself at all times. And that's the quote that I live. Yeah, I live by that quote. Protect yourself at all times.
The human body, your body, is the greatest machine that you'll ever own. Your body is your vehicle to go to places you want to go to and do the things that you want to do, yet you neglect it. Today, we meet a man who stands testament to the fact that your body is a reflection of your mind and soul.
My name is Austin, and I'm 37. How long have I been fighting?
Yeah.
How long have I been training would be a better question, yeah. Since I was 16.
You had a stint in the army, right?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, it's
mandatory.
It's compulsory.
It's mandatory for every Singaporean. Every male Singaporean, it's mandatory. I actually started this off with just friends and me and people that work in the companies that I have to actually train. And then it just turned into a business. People just started walking in and they're like, can you help me? Can I do this? Right? And then you just take them in, because what can you say? You don't say, So that's how it actually started. Yeah. We didn't have a reception. We only had a fight ground. And we had a sitting area for everyone to eat and go home. Yeah, that was it. And then we built a reception. We brought in some people and say, okay, and now if you look at it, you have a full class right there. I mean, people are going crazy, right? So the response is overwhelming. I mean, we don't do any marketing. It's more by word of mouth. But yeah, I mean, we've gone like above 140, 150 on members, and when people come in, it's just referred. Yeah, it's just all referred people. Yeah, everybody's kind of like intrigued. Fitness Fight Club, just its name itself. If you ask me, I think people are bored with the regular gym. With the regular muscle theory, doing the same old thing every day. Your back and bicep and chest and tricep and your shoulders and legs, and people are bored. Being big and bulky is gonna slow you down. When your lift breaks down and you're gonna climb up 5 floors, you don't want to pant. If your car breaks down and you want to push it, you're able to push it, right? So the kind of training a fighter goes through is the type of training that people want to do at this point in time. I mean, it's crazy, your heart rate goes up to 194, 196 for what it is. You burn calories like 600-700 in 1 hour, which is, you can't really get it done in most gyms. So we're talking about constant speed and strength and mobility, constant movement, and you're looking at a minute rest in between every circuit. So you're constantly moving, and you can try it at home. What you do is you stand in the same spot, time yourself 1 minute, and just run, speed run on the spot. Don't move anywhere. Just lean down and just keep running, right? Take a heart rate before you run, and take your heart rate right after, just after 60 seconds. It'll be amazing for you to find out what your heart rate at that point in time is. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about concentrated training. We're talking about anaerobic. We're talking about aerobic. We're talking about speed, we're talking about fast movement. It's not about punching. It's not about just throwing a punch, right? There's technique to throw a punch. There's when to throw a punch. And then, there's a defensive punch. And then there's a punch where you throw and then you have to duck. There's so many varieties of things that a fighter will have to go through. And it's contact sports. These are times where fighters will not be able to hear because, it's concentrated, right? It takes a lot to get there. That's not the point that we're getting to, It's to train like a fighter. Not to be a fighter, but to train like a fighter. Fighting outside has nothing to do with fighting with rules and regulation and doing it as a sport.
Most people feel MMA is a blood sport, violent, full of steroid cases, meatheads, and Neanderthals. Most people don't know that a lot of fighters in the UFC are college educated and normal people like you and me.
You have to be on your feet at all times. You have to be on your feet at all times. You have to be at your best at work, which means you need to react. When you have a conversation and someone's dissing you and you don't know what to say, and you sit down and you're like, I should have said that. But you didn't think about it at that point. That's because you're not on your feet. How does it help? Any form of exercise, as long as you take your mind off the regular thing that you do on a daily basis and concentrate on an irregular that would train your body, right? It could be yoga, it could be Pilates, it could be anything. You're always on your feet with your wife and your kids. It helps you at work. You're always on your feet with your bosses. You're always there. You're ready to do stuff. Your mind is clear. You know exactly what you're doing. Comparing to a guy who's eating and sleeping and maybe he could be a smart mouth. He can speak really fast, but then there's no action, right? Because everything, it's a balance. Most people ask me, if you don't fight, like if you're not fighting, why are you here? That's what most people ask me. But then again, it's my theory is very simple, right? the attitude that you have to take in is like a country trying to build an army, right? A country creates an army for one reason, is to defend. No country will create an army to attack. And it's only used when it's needed. People need to understand. When you're about to trip and fall, you will break your fall naturally. You're riding a bike and someone hit you and you're gonna fall off. You would use, the techniques you've learned, So if you ask me, the people come here and fight, yeah, they train here. They do it as a sport. Yes, it is a contact sport. And everybody has a very wide thinking. Our client base is really awesome client base we have. I've got clients who are diabetic, first class diabetic. We're talking about a guy who's diabetic since he was 6. I've got a polio client who's he's like, it's not functional on one side. And then I've got a client who got into an accident and drove straight rode straight to work, like straight here, to actually work out so that his legs don't swell up. We're talking about guys who inspires me like that. I've got a guy who walked in 116 kg in April, and now he weighs 84. He's never been to the gym. I still remember exactly what he told me. He walked in and he said that I'm a couch potato. I work across the street. And he said, I've never hit a gym in my life. Like, can you help me? This guy's 84 now, and it's amazing. He fought in December. These are some of the guys who know that he won't even you could scare him off and he will run away. This guy fought. This guy's like 84 kg now. He feels good. He went back home for New Year's and his parents looked at him and everybody's happy because you move from 100 and that heavy, 100 kg, and you're moving down. That's what inspires me as an individual. That's what inspires my trainer, my instructor that comes from Thailand, or my instructor that's from the US. We get inspired by our clients, So that's what keeps us going. And that's when I come down, I'm pretty happy to train the guys. I think it's gonna explode. We have a lot of foreign talents coming in here. We have big names that are already in here. So the reason why I think it's gonna explode, because I've seen so many fighters. I've come in here, set up Fitness Fight Club. I've traveled to see so many fighters, and I've been inspired. I've cried twice seeing the kind of training facility that these fighters have gone through, and the money they don't have, and to feed themselves, but they train like there's no tomorrow. They don't have a career either. So stuff like that kind of gets me very emotional. So I think it's gonna explode, and when it explodes, something I would not miss that. I will definitely be on that winning side of the explosion. Yeah, definitely, guaranteed.
We know how to organize our world, and yet we don't do it. We know how to organize our health, and yet very few people do it. We know all these things. The right path to being a happy, healthy person is to do all the shit that we already know you're supposed to do. Take care of your body, take care of your health, take care of your mind, your stress, meditate, be kind to people. We all know that. You ask anybody, they know how to get by and to be the most evolved version of you that you can